Please use chat for ideas and questions. Talk between meetings, use the Meetup platform or LinkedIn platform to share ideas between meetings. And please always send feedback and suggestions to us, so that and suggestions could be about future books that we do or something that you want to improve in the format. We are very eager to hear always. The next session is on 11/11, and it will be Q&A with one of the authors. Which author, we don't know. PMBok has over 200 authors. We will try to get one of them and answer our questions.
One of the principal authors, not a contributor in general.
One of the 15. Incidentally, for our viewers, those authors are listed on page number 190. 197. Yeah, it's on 197. So the first 15 names are the principal authors, and then there are. So incidentally, the way PMBok is put together is by doing a role delineation study. Every few years, 3 or 4 years, PMI will do a major research exercise to find out what are project managers doing today. And a summary of that will be put together as the PMBok guide. Okay, we have a few more people coming in. So that's PMBok. Nick, do you want to?
No, that is fine. Sort of, we do have an understanding of the bodies of knowledge from the past, and we have noted that there is a change, as your slide is showing there. There is a change in the perspective, the manner in which things are set, and because things are moving very, very fast, there is also actually another aspect that is clear from the book itself, that is the digital aspect. There will be a digital aspect to catch up with changes as we go along. There is all these new domains. They do have, they try and mention everything, and I think this is the problem that the body of knowledge has, the PMI body of knowledge has, but also the other bodies of knowledge, that they're trying to make sure that nothing is left out. And therefore, they start becoming very, very big by including everything. And then when you include everything, there are certain techniques that improve and evolve while others stay where they were and others then get ignored. And I think the difficulty of a committee like the one of volunteers from PMI, the difficulty is for them to know sort of what to throw out. And I think they are they're a bit like in my room. I have very difficulty throwing something away, and then it just grows. So it is an impressive body of knowledge, but it does need someone to almost prune it. And the pruning will probably be moved to the digital environment, from what I understand.
So are there any opening thoughts in the room? Have you been able to start reading the guide?
You're asking our audience.
Yes. Yeah, in the virtual room.
It is sort of, are people familiar with the PMBok 6 or PMBok 7? We are never sure when we are talking.
Actually, we have a little poll.
Okay.
Let me launch that poll.
Nice. Okay. Can I vote?
I don't think you can.
I'm not allowed to vote. Okay.
Okay, now you will be able to vote.
But now everybody will know what I'm voting. I'll go for that since. There we go.
Yeah.
People can see it. Yes, they
Yes.
are voting.
We've got almost everyone who's responded. There are a couple of people who have said they're familiar with version 6. Two of them have said they're familiar with version 7, and a couple have said they're familiar with none of these.
Okay. This must be the students.
Yes.
Lovely. It is actually not easy to read a body of knowledge. It is almost not the natural thing to do. One learns from your teachers, one learns from experience, one learns from books that have been written, but every now and then you need the body of knowledge as a guidance, otherwise we don't know where we're going. It is like encyclopedias. We don't learn from the encyclopedias, but they are necessary for us to have a look and get some.
I wanted to ask again. I mean, it's a question to the room. I mean, what were we expecting with version 7? Were we expecting something which is drastically so different than version 6, or it is about time that PMI or PMBok at least changed its approach to project management?
No, I do have a response if nobody else thinks. I think a lot has happened in the last years, actually. And when the last PMBok was written, I don't remember when was that?
2017.
2017, pre-COVID. Sort of 4 years is not a very big time span.
This version would have come out before COVID in early 2020, but because of COVID, it got slightly delayed.
Yes, yes, that is important. So I think that what is happening now in the world of project management is that the idea of agile itself is moving so fast that almost you cannot do project management without mentioning or understanding the agile way of thinking. Indeed, I was very interested to see Professor Fleiberg's, whom we mentioned earlier, new ideas about mega projects, where his new suggestion now is to create them incrementally, which I think is very much influenced. This is construction, almost influenced by agile principles, iterative being an agile principle. So because of agile, I think this had to come out. And every now and then you can see a struggle where you've got the old way of thinking still in the book. And then you see some paragraphs where you can see the inclination here is much from agile. And sometimes it becomes too agile. And so it needs a little editing, if you wish. But I think because of agile, we need it, and the other bodies of knowledge need a rewrite. I think that's the main difference.
So, the version 6 is very much a process-based guide, and I remember, Nick, when I think this was in 2018 or 2019 when we were first discussing PMBok version 6, you did mention that why is it so prescriptive? 49 processes and do this and do that. Well, I think someone answered this last time that if you are very new to project management, then you probably need a checklist or a prompt list at least. But then on top of that, now we have got this version 7, which is almost principle based. And so there are boundaries of principles, and then go crazy with how you want to manage your project.
And last time, what we were saying, or at least what I was saying, was that I think that the principles are a bit too many. I don't think they have thought of them very much, and I think there is a lot of overlap between some of the principles. So again, it is like the waterfall part of thinking, sort of like resisting almost the new way of thinking. And it is nice to be in 2021, especially as a student, to actually see the wave, the new wave of thinking, overlapping with the old way of thinking. And that in itself is interesting. And I think that we will then stabilize in a place where we will pick the best things of the old way of thinking and adjust it by adding the new, because some of the old ways are universal. Project management itself is like 60 years old, so it's not old. 1960s for a discipline is.
Tell that to the Egyptians.
I will. We do mummify people in different ways now than the Egyptians did. Give me a moment. I need to talk to my students. I beg your pardon. Oh. My apologies.
So any thoughts on or any observations on what we have been saying so far? Okay.
So Himanshu, since I believe you have already gone through 6th and 7th edition, I'm assuming that. So just joining the same phrase, do you see a lot of variance in the dictionary of 7th edition than the 6th one?
You mean the glossaries?
Yeah, overall context.
Well, see, I was talking to a friend of mine who's actually a thought leader in the area of project management, and he was saying that 6th edition will still be valid because it's almost sort of a checklist for people who are starting their project management careers. 7th edition introduces principles. It introduces performance domains, as you can see on the right hand side, and we will look at another graphic which will provide a little bit more detail on these principles. There's a
what I meant to say was, like, like for startups, as I'm studying, should I be reading the 6th edition earlier than going to the 7th edition, or should I just jump ahead to the 7th edition right away?
I think we said last time that you should take a look at 6th edition first and then go on to 7th edition.
It's a difficult question in the sense that I don't think that you learn project management through the body of knowledge itself. The body of knowledge is there for you later on, once you start getting to grasping a few of the terms. So I think that the natural way to learn is through a book on project management, which itself would have been written by someone who has knowledge of the PMBok.
Yeah.
And you will find two sets of books, the more agile books and the more traditional books. Yes, and then you will start framing an idea in yourself, and you will be ripe to go into the PMBok. Here in our classes, when we have the reading lists, for example, the reading lists always have another book, a book on project management as the main book, and the bodies of knowledge are in further reading. So you don't learn project management from the book. The book actually is written by a committee. That means that it doesn't have a specialist author who actually write it more carefully and maybe take away some difficult things to make you understand the first things first. Yes, and you learn certain techniques and you get a feel of what the project manager does, and then you are ready for the body of knowledge. So it's not a vehicle. Again, it's like an encyclopedia. You don't learn from an encyclopedia. or Wikipedia for that matter, how to become a doctor. There are books the doctors have written telling you how to do things, and then you use the bodies of knowledge. But having said all that, I think it is well written.
Yeah.
It is well written and it is readable. But every now and then it will have an opinion, and you will not realize it is an opinion because you haven't got the experience behind it. And it will mention 2 or 3 ways of doing something. It will talk about predictive and adaptive environments, which you need some time to understand before you start reading about them. So,
that is true, actually. I mean, both of these PMBok guides, version 6 or 7, will assume that you have some background in project management. They will use terminologies, although there are glossaries, extensive glossaries at the end of both, but still they will assume that you have an understanding of those terms.
and I am saying this very much influenced by our own master's course here, where most of the students have not done any formal project management when they come to do our masters. If you have done project management in an undergraduate degree, then yes, by all means, dive into the body of knowledge. And actually, we can say this because this body of knowledge is only 200 pages. Its previous version was 700 pages. So definitely, you do not start from PMBok 6 itself. You need someone to come and clarify it for you.
And also, this body of knowledge is actually made up of 2 things. One is the ANSI standard for project management. And then following that is the guide to project management body of knowledge. So
there is no magic bullet.
let me move on.
This is.
Yes. So this is again another look at the principles. The 12 principles are mentioned here. Reading them as sentences probably gives a little bit of more of a context behind them. Then you've got the performance domains that you need to sort of look at.
Yes, I mean this diagram, which is on page 5 of the standard or the guide. Okay, these 2 books are confusing me actually, 2 in 1. But these domains are what project management is about, and therefore, as a student, having that the picture, this just one thing in your mind, it does help you put things in context, especially if you are a person who requires the context to understand the detail, as opposed to those who need the detail to understand the context. And again, the principles, this is the new thing essentially in version 7. And I think we should read them again and again and again, sort of aloud. I will actually, because I think they are important. Yes, be diligent, respectful, and a caring steward.
Yeah.
And they've got this word steward. I like that word steward, but that also looks like a shepherd. And your opinion of what a shepherd is a shepherd someone who just has sheep and make sure that they go in the same line, or is it a shepherd someone who leads, a leader of people? And it is American, so I don't know if I'm interpreting.
Ethics, actually. So if I could go back here, and in the 6th edition, you got these 10 knowledge areas and the role of project manager and all of that. But one of the appendices was based on ethics behind the project manager profession. And because it was an appendix, doesn't mean, I mean, it was heavily tested in the PMP exam as well. what they have done, and I like it actually, that they have formally mentioned ethics in terms of be a diligent, respectful, and caring steward. So what you were saying earlier about evil corporations and this and
yes, Dad, my argument, because we are part of the responsible project management community, is if the organization is not responsible and it doesn't follow any recognized corporate responsibility, then what do you do as a project manager? And I do not think the body of knowledge gives you guidance on that. We talk about stakeholders, but we not really mean the wider.
So we now know that, well, these are the project performance domains. So these are almost like the project objectives, and no longer the cost, time, and scope, and quality, and all of that. But these are these performance domains. And how do you do this? Well, you base your behavior based on these principles. So it's almost like setting up controls using these principles for these performance domains.
Yes, yes. And the second principle, actually create a collaborative team environment, is actually culturally very Western. Sort of, you are not leading from far or only you. Yes, so exactly. And that collaboration, I think, in itself is an important point. But as you say, the words time and cost have been sort of inside the domains themselves, where one of the things is where when you read it, it took me a bit of time to sort of understand, was between the third one and the fourth one, looking clockwise from 12 o'clock. Sort of the difference between the development approach and life cycle, and then planning afterwards. And actually, I'm still struggling a bit of where is the boundary from one to the other, since life cycle is on one and planning is on the other.
The third one is about agreeing on how we are going to do the project management.
Yes.
And then once we have agreed what we are going to do, then we sort of plan the project. So let's say we have agreed that, okay, no, we will do the project in a predictive manner, in which case we need to have all the information available upfront. So then your planning will be different. But if you decide that, okay, no, we will be adaptive, we'll be agile, then planning will be different. I think that's
I appreciate that, but then I don't see them as the same size. Because the decision for the approach is done by a different set of people, and it takes a different amount of effort and actually less technical ability, while the planning is the nitty-gritty of project management. Yes, and what really confuses me is that I see them in two circles that are equal. Now they're equal in importance maybe, but they're not equal in techniques. That is why I'm saying
what confuses me is the next two.
Lovely. Okay.
So yes, you've done the planning, right? Then what are you doing next when you're executing the project? So you're doing project work. But then the next one says delivery. So what's the difference? I mean, I've not gone as far to kind of find out, but what's the difference?
I don't know, can anybody help us on this one? I think this PMBok 7 will be an important stepping stone, but it is a stepping stone. That is, we need almost, dare I say it, number 8, because I think that this makes different sense. If you are in an agile environment where you are iterative, and therefore the work and the delivery are actually sort of happening all the time. Yes, and when you read it as it appears here as a sequence, because we are trained to look at this as a clock Yes, and then you say, just a moment, is the work is different from the delivery, and how much different is it from the delivery? On the other hand, the separation also allows you to start creating value while maybe the work is still going on, which again is that agile selling point. Instead of waiting all the way to the end, finish the building if you wish, and then we will populate it. Yes, which is natural. For a building, it is natural. Unless you are in my country, in which case we build the first floor, we put people in, and then we build the second floor. But that's a financial thing. So again, I think the approach thing, what is in your head? Yes, if you've got an agile mindset, it looks different. If you've got a waterfall mindset, it does look different. And that is why I'm thinking that somewhere the waters will sort of subside, and we will find a way of explaining that in both ways, essentially. But that also answers the previous question that was asked of how difficult it is to learn by going directly into the body of knowledge. If you and I are experienced and we can see, and suddenly we have two interpretations of what appears to be a very simple figure, then there must be between the lines. And that is the beauty of project management, in my opinion, that it is what is in between the lines that makes you a good project manager.
Actually, that's a very interesting point, because version 6, there was very little room for interpretation, right?
Yes.
In version 7, now you can interpret it according to your organizational context, your personal experiences, which is great, actually, which is a good thing.
It is great as long as you believe in universal ethical rules and not your organization's interpretations of them. But yes, that is almost by definition. As soon as I give you a procedural picture, something will go wrong in that the procedural picture will not allow you to maneuver, and hence you need the principles, the whole purpose of the principles. So I think it is very clever of the manual not to give us one picture of the principles and then another picture of the domains, but actually give us this red arrow thingy in there that says this is actually one picture and not two pictures. And I think that sort of thinking is what will in other methods we have had sort of the principles going around and encompassing the domain. Yes, and then there is no start and end, if you wish. You can move the two circles, the inside circle and the outside circle, to position it wherever you want, like an astrolabe or something like that. And then you get the measurement thing.
Yeah.
Yes, which is monitoring. Yes, which means that it is not after the delivery. So this instinct of reading it like a clock, yes, is clearly wrong, because monitoring or measurement happens clearly during project work and project delivery, actually, and after, because you are measuring benefits or outcomes, or you should afterwards.
Well, there are some focus on value.
They have indeed.
But the reason it's laughing is because so far we've been talking very heavily in PMBok version 6 about benefits. Right. Benefits measurement has been an area of focus in entire project management community, not just PMI, but APM and Prince2 and everywhere. And now suddenly we have this new word which sort of encompasses benefits. So again, there is some room for interpretation, as in, do benefits come after value, before value? Are they sort of overlapping each other? So that's why Nick.
And of course, measurement is also afterwards. So again, another principle, you see, but by reading the domains and referring to the principles, I think is necessary. So going to the principle, recognize, evaluate, and respond to system interactions. Yes,
Yeah.
there are interactions all the time, not only inside the project, not only between the humans within the project, but also the interaction of the project product in the outside world in the form of outcomes and then in the form of benefits, which hopefully maybe will become value to everybody. So that measurement. And then the final one is interesting. Sort of we've gone around one circle. I'm sure we'll go around again. The uncertainty. Yes, suddenly we've got this card played in uncertainty. There's a difference between uncertainty and risk, but really this is risk management. This is also uncertainty in that we do not know where we're going. We do not know what the scope, for example, is, because we have no idea what the end. We've got an objective, but we don't have a target, if that makes any sense, because we're trying to find it out. And again, the discussion on uncertainty is very much different if you've got an agile perspective as opposed to a waterfall, this predictive or adaptive.
Also by using the word uncertainty, because risk generally, when you talk about risk to anyone who's not learned in, let's say, PMBok or APM, you always think of risk as a negative thing. But by using the word uncertainty here, they have clarified their position that uncertainty is exactly what it says. It's an uncertain event. Could be negative, could be positive. That's what I thought from looking at it.
Indeed, it is, again, each one, see, as soon as you have one word, there are so many different interpretations. So all you have to do is go and write something on Word and just click on any one of your words and you will get the synonyms. So each one word has a lot of interpretations. Uncertainty is, for some people, the known unknowns and the unknown unknowns kind of thing. And for other people, it is the fact that the risk or the uncertainty itself may be an opportunity as opposed to a threat. Yes, the word risk usually in normal English is threatening. Yes, there is a risk. Yes. And nobody sort of uses the word, there is a risk I will make a lot of money. Yes, so it's an opportunity. There's a chance that I will. But then there's the VUCA word, volatile, uncertain, and that uncertain. Yes, exactly. So uncertainty can mean many things for many people. But again, it is that uncertainty that makes project management what it is. We are in the middle of a climate crisis. We are realizing that 40 years ago, we were not even accepting the science. Now we have accepted the science, and we are finding out that certain ideas that were very good maybe 100 years ago are now not good. This sort of when the motor vehicle came out, yes, that was a clean thing because we did not have horses, we did not have to feed horses, we did not have to clean shit of horses from the streets and all that. There was this nice and clean thing that went boop, 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 and actually beat the horse hands down. Yes, and then over 100 years later, we say this is a polluting thing and we have to stop using it, find a way of circumventing it, making it cleaner. Yes, even though it was the clean solution 100 years ago. So then that is another view of uncertainty, that the world itself changes so much.
And that is why we have these versions, because our profession also is evolving. And this version 7 sort of is telling us what is the state of profession at the moment. At least that what's the perception of the state of profession by project managers across the group at the moment.
Precisely. And as I said, I think it is a very nice thing. It is much clearer than the previous thing. And by also insisting again on the next principle to demonstrate leadership behaviors, I think this is a beautiful thing. First of all, we are learning that it is the leadership, the human side of project management that is the one that makes the difference, and not just the knowledge, the technical knowledge to do a critical path or draw a critical path and all that. It is the leadership thing, and that then permeates everything, all the domains. It's not almost what you do, it is how you actually do it to take all the team with you. And teams are an important part. And again, going all the way circle around, we've got stakeholders and we've got team, and project management has always made a difference. Yes, for me, my instinct is the team are stakeholders. Yes, but there are sort of like a special kind of stakeholders. If they don't do well, then the rest falls down. Exactly, in that respect. And therefore you need leadership, but suddenly the leader has to look both ways. Inside the team, yes, you have to manage essentially your own team and lead the team of people, but you also have to look outside. A bit like a football manager, yes, who are the better football managers? And it's not only those who train and have good tactics of the team they've got, but also those who can look out to the big boss and actually buy the proper players. Because if you cannot buy the proper players, you cannot train them. So that idea of, and that is where stakeholders come into
some really good questions to ask the open next time.
Maybe, yes.
Any thoughts in the room? I know some of us have not read it, so will you be reading it in next couple of weeks, at least a little bit?
Yes, we will sure be reading on that.
There's a few things that are a bit strange. If I may return back to the principles, sort of build quality into processes and deliverables. Yes, now that to me is a strange principle, in that someone has felt the need to say so. So for me, that is almost self-evident in itself, but somehow there is a point here said, actually do not cut corners. Yes, no.
It is talking about both the product quality and the process quality. Right. The way we do project management, that should be a quality process. And of course, what comes out, the output should be a quality product or a service or the result that you are producing using your project.
Yes. In ethical terms, the end does not, the means do not explain the end. So the procedures themselves have to be proper. But the procedures themselves being proper, again, overlaps with the stakeholder element of the project. And these overlaps. Now, I don't think you can have a very clear-cut sort of, there are lines and one principle stops here and one principle starts there. That is the problem the philosophers have had for so many years. The lines are always blurred. But the reason why I'm pointing to this one is because whenever I'm reading an American version of a book, which is influenced by the American, what is this, the PMBok, the word quality doesn't appear significantly in it. There is always, it comes in and goes out, sort of. It is really in between the lines. Yes, while, for example, in Prince, it is there. You cannot go away from the word quality. So the fact that it is here, I think, is a nice thing.
In version 6, there is a whole knowledge area on quality.
Yes, but it doesn't appear anywhere else but where it appears. Then when you pick up a book or to learn project management, it almost disappears. It also the word quality itself has had a strange history because it appeared in the original iron triangle, yes, where we had time, cost, and quality. And then it was dislodged and scope went in there. And then some people draw the word quality inside the triangle, that the scope contains the quality. Then the agile people came in. Yes, and the first problem that actually the agile has is that this incremental thing doesn't work because you cannot have half a car. Yes, it's either a full car or it is not a car. So yes, so incremental. Yes, so scope and quality are actually brothers, one with the other, sort of, and we haven't resolved that. We actually forgot that debate and simply.
No, I think it's very clear that agile methods are not for manufacturing a car, but they are for designing a car.
Careful, you are being recorded.
I mentioned this very frequently. We have to be sensible. There are projects that we can do in agile manner and we should do in agile manner, but there are projects that we can't do in agile manner, and there is place for both. For example, building this building, you can't be agile. You will need to know before you start laying down the first bricks that what the building is going to look like, because you need to get planning permission. So it's a predictive project, right? But while you are doing the design for the building, you can be agile. You can have iterations, iteratively work with your stakeholders to come up with the design.
Indeed, but one could argue that the planning permission itself is a waterfall remnant, and we shouldn't have.
Well, planning permission is a good thing.
Well, yes, we don't want unplanned development. And that it goes like this, but again, now I'm running out of words in the sense that as I'm reading the principles, I am finding that some of the principles are actually performance domains. You see, this is sort of this navigate complexity and optimize risk responses, though they map very much on probably that uncertainty.
So I think this is how you should manage uncertainty, is by optimizing your risk responses with your project goals. So project goals of time, cost, quality, and benefits. So optimize your risk responses based on that. What they're trying to say is risk management is not an absolute thing. It needs to be sort of contextualized from project to project. But what confuses me is navigate complexity. I mean, that one is I don't know what to make of that one. So I think that's another question that's going the author's way.
And that's what I'm saying. There's, for me, for example, my problem is on the next one, the word optimize. The word optimize itself is a technique. We had words before that were more general, demonstrate, create, yes, tailor, engage. Yes, but now it is optimize. Optimize means there is a method somewhere.
And there are methods actually.
Yes, but this is the principle, it's not the domain. Yeah, that is exactly what I'm saying. So the domain, the wording of the principle is more, has become more of the domain, has become so specific. But again, I think it needs another iteration, but it could not have been done directly into the other iteration. Yes, and then the manual itself is agile, and they are aware of that. Exactly. Yes, yes. So we have to embrace adaptability and resiliency, of course. Yes, the fact that there are two things in one is another matter. And it is all about change. That is the quintessential thing about project management. We are the agents of change. Yes, and if we are playing an important part in the world, it is precisely because it is through projects that we will come through or not come through the climate thing. Yes, it is through projects that we fought and still fighting, probably winning, but not 100% sure, the COVID pandemic. Yes, and it is through projects that we will create a world that is becoming better and better. Because it is becoming better.
It is. There's a report by United Nations, I think it came up a couple of years ago, just before the pandemic, that the world generally is becoming a better place to live.
Even though COVID has taken us back a bit, not apparently, but taking us back means we were moving forward, and hence we'll take that as the hopeful statement, maybe.
Good. Good. So, any thoughts, any observations or questions as we draw close to today's discussion?
Which has become a podcast.
Yes.
Guys, Ashi speaking. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, guys. Sorry, I just want to briefly say something. Honestly, I didn't plan to. I just jumped into my emails and I found out that there was something going on around project management. And I know that we connected back, I don't know, a few months ago with some topic around project management. So me and myself, basically, I really didn't. I didn't even have a book about project management, but I'm a kind of champion of certification. So if you like to challenge with some certification around project management or even program management, I'm really into it. But I'm not yet into reading books, and I know that obviously, going through certification means that you're actually reading the books. The main difference is that you are facing what they call the knowledge check time. So the thing is, I would rather like to go a bit more into that's my methodology of learning project management. After, besides 2 years plus of experience, I always like to face what they call the knowledge test. So if you have the chance to check on my LinkedIn, you will realize that I have at least seven certifications, 7 topics. Speaking about project management, this means that I took time to go through it and learn it and go through some quiz to boost a bit more my let's call it my professional experience with it. And the book for me it's amazing. The book is good because I would love to have those books once I have that let's call it that that self confidence that I can speak a bit more about project management in general. So I'm not against having books or having, let's say, 10 version of PMBok, but my approach is more about learning more the certificate. And I know that actually to pass, for example, the PMP certification, you need to go, the book will be a very big, asset or a good material to be able to pass the certification. So I just wanted to, to quickly say something about the reason why I'm here or why I decided to, to spend this 1 hour with you guys. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, but I need to say something. The certifications themselves will not make you a steward, and they will not make you a leader. So they will guide you, but there is something more to project management that is beyond the technical skills. The certification is usually based on certain technical skills, and you can answer a question, what should I do if I'm a leader? But that is very much different from what you actually do when you are managing a team. So the certifications are one of your weapons, but it's not the only one. And reading and becoming that person that is a specialist in project management but has an open view about everything is where we are going. And I think this is why these principles are here. Yes, now you need the certifications, but you also need the sort of in my the knowledge and the ability to empathize. Actually, you cannot get a certificate in empathy, which is what leadership is all about. Yes, thinking about the other person. So you're welcome, and well done with the 7 certificates.
Thank you. Thank you, Nicola. No, basically, I totally agree. I mean, I have no doubt about, that leadership point. And I know what it means to have, 7 books around project management methodologies. I totally agree with your approach, Nicola. I just wanted to quickly, because basically I know that before there was a question about who went through some certificate. I was a bit embarrassed to say that I've never went through a PMBok, which is a pity, because I know what it takes to to actually get that book for yourself. If you want to improve more, your leadership skills, just like you just mentioned. I totally agree with your methodology, and I hope that in the future I'll be able to to discuss more about such amazing topics. Actually,
hopefully we'll see you all in person in the next meeting.
Maybe.
Thank you so much, guys.
We did not wish to embarrass people who have not read it. We were wishing for people to see that they are not the only ones who have not read the book. Our intention was the opposite, and that is why it was also an anonymous poll. We do understand that people do not have time to read the books, and we feel that if we talk a bit about the book, that will create some interest. Yes, but we are not actually selling the book itself. This is a project management book club, and it is the discussion that is more important. Actually, if you want a confession, I'm not sure I'll read it all myself.
We don't have to read it just yet, right? I mean, we are discussing it, and exactly. Obviously over time, and I'm sure as we teach project management or learn project management, we will use this as a guide.
Indeed. And it's online version.
It is, yes.
Lovely.
Okay, I will stop the recording.